Mark, that's terrible. You're supposed to look after the Baileys here and support me. Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's very, very brief. I'm going to get straight into what I want to get across to you today. First question, who was here last year for USB's showcase? Can I show of hands, please? Okay, so I've got new things to tell you about who wasn't here last year, who hasn't been here before. Okay, so let me start by telling you about my talk, and then for those who heard last year what I said about my talk, we'll come on to something new. My presentation is called Succeed Under Pressure. It's based on my time as a young South African at Manchester United in goals, trying to deal with the massive pressure, coming up with some techniques that served me extremely well, and then learning, as Mark said, from one of the greatest of all time, Sir Alex Ferguson, and how he dealt with pressure. I did an MBA, and the actual professor I did it with loved the work so much, and more importantly, he was a Man United fan, which is the main reason why we together wrote a book on it. And I have seen such an improvement in businesses and people who follow the 5 very simple principles that we've put together under this Succeed Under Pressure. So up on the screen, I'm going to give you the 5. The first one is gratitude. Now, when you're under pressure, and let's be fair, I think every business today is and has been under pressure for a long, long time. And my sense, I don't know if you agree with me, but my sense of people working in businesses today is that every year they're thinking, I'll get through this year, we'll deal with the pressure, we'll reach the sales targets, maybe next year will be easier. And it's not, is it? It's been year after year. What is it, 7, 8 years since the recession, and things are still tough. And unless you can get your teams to actually thrive under pressure and really, really enjoy it, I think you're going to battle to get results, because as most economists will tell you, we're expecting many, many more tough years ahead. And when you're under pressure, gratitude is one of the most powerful sources of energy. We all know it, we don't use it. Even those who are grateful morning and evening, you can use it more often in the day. And I give the group techniques as to how to think of gratitude, use it, and that's your first port of call for nice, good energy on a daily basis. And trust me, these things work. They're proven over time. The research is out there as well. So gratitude is the first one. Next one is reframing. What is that? It's taking a situation that worries you, such as the economy, such as reaching targets, and putting it in a different sense that excites you. And so Alex was a genius at this. He could take losses and say, yes, it's a loss, but it's an opportunity to go and do this, this, and this. Now, you can't change the facts. That's called delusion. That's something totally different. But if you stick with the facts and you just change the way you see it, it changes your entire outlook. And I'll give you an actual example from last week. My daughter came rushing into my office and said, Dad, I've done something really silly. I left my passport and all my documents at the government office. It's half an hour away. Dad, please, we need to go back and fetch it right away. And it's half an hour there and half an hour back. I said, Dad, you're the only person with wheels that can take me. Please, right now. Now, the immediate human response to that is, I've got so much work. I haven't got an hour to spare. Why did you leave it there? All those things that we would all think of immediately. And I thought of them as well. And I thought, hang on a second. Let's just reframe this for a moment. I get very little time with my 18-year-old daughter. She flits in, asks some money, and she's out. That's basically how it works, doesn't it? Here was a chance for me to spend half an hour there, half an hour back with my 18-year-old daughter. Really good daddy-daughter time. And so I just changed and reframed straight away. I said to her, okay, it's a bit of a silly thing to do. How did you forget about it? She explained. I said, cool, no problem, let's go. Let's have some fun. And half an hour there, half an hour back, we chatted about her boyfriend, her life, what she plans to do. I got an hour with my daughter that I probably would hardly ever get. And so I was able to reframe that situation right there and then. The most successful people I know, almost without exception, have this ability to just take obstacles and look at them in a certain way. And it's something you can practice. And it's something you can get every single person in your business or wherever you work, you can get them to practice. And the net effect is huge. The net effect on the group is absolutely phenomenal. And we are seeing this with some of the work that we're doing in companies. Emotional intelligence, it's vital. There's 101 books about emotional intelligence. But again, how do you practice it? We've got systems where we get people to observe important clients, observe people they work with, see how they can learn more from them. Again, so Alex Ferguson would spend 10 minutes of every training session just observing his players, just to see who was playing well and who wasn't. And those who weren't looking energetic, he'd call them aside, find out what their problems was. He could do all that just by observing them in the first 10 minutes of a training session. That is the power of observation and the importance of observation within emotional intelligence. Adapting. We look at adapting across cultures, and in this country of ours, it's a very important thing. I go back to my days playing for Kaiser Chiefs, and we have a lot of fun with the group. It's a nice, the talk involves soccer, it's a business talk, but it's also nice to bring in Kaiser Chiefs. And what was interesting was my very first game that I played, the team was selected, would you believe it, by the witch doctor. Now try work with that when you just come from Man United after 10 years. But we sort of worked across our cultural differences, and by the time that we were into our second season, we'd won every single trophy in South Africa because we had pooled our resources together. So we talk about that. We also talk about learning something new all the time, and that's part of adapting. You have to have a learning culture. And then it all comes together with teamwork. And teamwork is not an easy thing to achieve, but again, there are some simple principles. One of them, so Alex Ferguson would never allow any player or staff member to talk about themselves. Never I or me. You can go and check on YouTube. It was always we and us. Words are very, very powerful, and there's lots of research to prove that. Second thing about teams, you need energy. Because you're helping others, it takes more energy. When you isolate yourself, that's fine, you're on your own, but you need to help your team for them to help you. So you've got to raise your energy. So we look at principles and how to raise your energy. That altogether practiced will help you and your team succeed under pressure. So that's going over what I spoke about to last year, so apologies for those of you who had to hear it again, but hopefully it's just refreshed your memory. Those keynotes I've enjoyed talking, I've got great responses from, but here was my problem after the showcase last year. When you do the keynotes, people love it, they talk about it, they say fantastic principles, and what happens 3-4 days later? They've forgotten it. They're not using it. And I wanted them to use it. I wanted to see practical results. So we set up an online program, my partner Greg and myself. By the way, it's my business partner, Greg, in case you're going to, he's at the back, we can come and talk to us. We set up an online program so people can do daily gratitude postings, weekly reframing, weekly adapting. Everyone in the company does it. We do it all together, and over 30 days or 8 weeks, we have measurable change. Our last client had 1 or 2 delegates getting 60% better ability to thrive under pressure. This isn't just survive, this is thrive, this is enjoy pressure. This is really grow the business. And these are practical, simple things to do that are guaranteed to give you a positive response as the music goes up. So please give us a call. We're offering 4 free places to any company that would like to go on our course. Thank you very much indeed.